Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Southbound Before Trains. Um, where I left off, I was finishing cooking this iron, and now I'm continuing to head south. And so, off we go. Oh shoot, you know what? I forgot to block that off. Wow, I'm off to a great start. Of course, I would forget, being new to this whole concept of, digging hidey holes, or what I will refer to as bunkers, because I like that term better. It's kind of like a point of fob, like where you set up your defenses and you get stuff situated, and like you kind of it's like your point of defense towards creatures of the night, or oh my gosh, and I got a skeleton shooting at me already. But yeah, you'll die and I'll keep going. And yep, I'm gonna keep going south, man. So now that I kind of got the origin story out the way and everything like that, I guess something I could talk about here is what I'm going to end up doing with the series. I mean, I already went into like how I want the series to go, but like I think more to like a descriptive level. I'm hoping eventually that I'll be able to catch up to Kurt. So I know, I have a long way to go to catch up to him, but I figure if I can do an episode every day, um, up until the point I catch up to him, one episode a day, I'm maybe if I might be able to do two. But I think for now, I'm just going to stick to one. And hopefully I'll be able to catch up to him. And that will be kind of fun. Like the way I figure in, he does, what is it, 3 videos a week? So if I can manage to, like say if I did one every day and just kept going at it until like I caught up, it would take me probably about a year and a half, I think, to catch up to him. So that we'd be like roughly about the same distance away. So I'm gonna try and do that actually. So yeah, that this is going to be a long time coming, especially when I get detoured and everything. But there are necessary hindrances that come with doing stuff the way I do it. So I can't reach this. Okay, so going on. What else to talk about here? Yeah, I'm working on getting, my game set up so I can start recording some other stuff. I think I'm gonna start recording like some of the super hostile maps. I think I'm gonna start now with Waking Up. Seems to be a good one to start with. And so I'm gonna start out with that one probably, I think probably tomorrow maybe, if not then on Friday. I think the first like game I'm gonna play outside of Minecraft is probably going to be Afterfall. It'll be Afterfall Insanity, and I will start doing that here real soon as well. Probably, once again, if not tomorrow, then on Friday. Today is Wednesday, the 9th. This video will go up tomorrow because of my poor internet connection and my lack of ability thereof to continue posting videos like throughout the day, or else I'd be doing it all day. But I can't do it like that So for now, I'm gonna record it today and then post it tomorrow. And so, yeah, by the time you see this video, if anybody's watching, it'll be the 10th, and I'll have this in video up, and I'll be working on the next one. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, here I'm just gonna keep going south. South seems like a good idea. So anyways, getting off topic here about this game and yeah, like where my channel is going and where it's headed. I wanted to talk about some of the like recent movies, or I guess yeah, like to get some insight on what's coming out. I guess I need to look it up, but like, and I'll start doing that because I'm way interested in seeing movies. I haven't been there in a while, and I want to go see some movies so I can talk about some of the movies that are out. Um, but one thing I was uncertain of is like the new Transformers movie. I've heard tons about it. Um, I hear it's really good, but haven't seen it yet simply because like there's a lot that goes into a movie, and I feel like if if that movie doesn't have a good plot or doesn't have a good story behind it, then all the CGI scenes and everything like that in the world wouldn't make it a better movie. Um, I say the same thing, I think when Resident Evil came out, because I think well, no, I'm not saying Resident Evil is like necessarily that bad of a movie, but it's just like when I heard like the first Resident Evil was coming out, I was expecting it to be like along the storyline of like the game, like the story of the games that we all know and that most of us have played, like starting out on the original PlayStation and working our way up to where it is now. Like it didn't seem like when I first watched it. I mean, it was a good movie. It was cool. But I was hoping that it would follow some of the storyline that Resident Evil had, but I felt like they didn't do. And so like I never completely watched the entire like Resident Evil, like a saga, I guess it is. Simply because it didn't seem interesting to me by like fourth movie, I think it was, because I didn't know where they were going with it. It was cool. I mean, I might have to go back and watch them, but like I don't know. I just didn't see. It didn't seem that interesting because it didn't follow like the guideline base that we all knew the Resident Evil stories to be. So that's that. But yeah, I've been contemplating, wondering if I wanted to go see Transformers or not, because I feel like maybe it does follow like one of the series, but there have been like 15 like Transformers series, and like I feel like it follows one of them. I just am not sure which one. Maybe somebody can point that out to me into which one it follows. Like if you know and happen to be a big fan of the Transformers movies. One of the other problems I think I have with the movie, and like when I watch Transformers, I get what I'm expecting to see is big robots that, or cars that turn to robots is what Transformers is, and so that's cool. But like I feel like they kind of changed actors too much, or well, I mean they had the main guy, I forget his name right now, They had him in every movie up and so far, which is cool. I like that. But like they changed out, like they changed in this newest one that I don't even think is he in the movie? Like, do they mention him and like do you see him in it? Or like what's the deal with that? Like I'm curious because I want to go see the movie, but I feel like if he's not in this one, then it's just not going to be like the same as um watching the series as it was originally written. So like if anybody knows about the movie or thinks anything of it, let me know because I want to see it, but I want to make sure that what I'm seeing is gonna follow the story, whichever one is going in, and like it ties in somewhere, but I'm just not sure where. It just doesn't make sense to me to go see a movie that would completely like skew itself off. Like one of the movies, I think, and I just watched it recently was and this is gonna sound kind of stupid, but it was one of the movies I watched as a kid, and I was like, dude, this is one of my favorite movies. And so I went back and watched it. I was watching The Never-Ending Story, and yeah, like though separate like the movies separately didn't really make too much sense. Like the first two movies, like dealt within the same like I guess parameters of like storyline. Where I think the first movie, like all the land was being, I guess, all the land was disappearing because of nothingness, and like I guess because nobody was like reading the book, and so like when the second movie came out, and like it still had something to do with nobody reading the book because instead of the land, like um disappearing. Instead, it was like melting away because like the book had been read, but then neglected. So like it's kind of one of those things where like yeah, it's important that when you start a book, like you finish it, or else it kind of is like well, what happens to the characters in the book when you start reading it? And yeah, it seems kind of childish to be in like that. Like it's a book, right? But that's kind of like the thing across the first two movies was that if you neglect it, then it kind of gets worse because you're not gonna know what happens, and then it doesn't make any sense. And then I guess by the third movie, the movie really didn't make any sense because it just seemed kind of silly. So like yeah, because they went into like a whole different like background story for the movie. Like it wasn't about nothing or you know that if you stop reading a book then stuff like that. But yeah, like the third movie was changed so much that it was like unbearable to watch, and I had to end up like skipping through like half the movie because it was really really dumb. Like I feel like there was no point to watching it. So I ended up, like I said, I ended up skipping halfway through it, and I was like, yeah, It makes sense now why I stopped watching the movies. Because there was no point to watching the third one. Like the first two were so like story based that it was like an epic kind of thing. But then by the third movie, you're like, what? Really? Like, this just doesn't make any sense. And it's like, why is this, like, yeah. But yeah, so, when I go to watch a movie like that, I like for it to follow the same story, like in a sequel or like a well, I guess it has to be a trilogy, but like any movie that continues off of another one, I think it should follow like the same storyline so that you actually know what's going on. Like you have an understanding of why things are happening and what it is that causes all the stuff to happen. And I feel like Resident Evil was doing that for a while, but then they took a turn to where it didn't really make sense to me. So it's kind of like, where is this movie going? Um, but yeah, like I'm kind of getting that same feeling from Transformers. Um, of course, I haven't seen like the fourth one yet. Is it the fourth one now? I think it is. But yeah, I haven't seen the fourth one yet because I feel like if I don't know the story of like the saga of where it's at now, like if you just drop like 2 years or like 3 years, into the future of like a movie that happened like 3 years in the past, and just suddenly pick it up out of nowhere, and then like it really doesn't make too much sense as to what is happening in the story. So yeah, like I said, if somebody can fill me in on that, maybe it might make more sense to me, like what storyline they're basing the movie off of. Because yeah, like one of the things you go to see in a Transformers movie is cars turning into robots or planes turning into robots and everything like that. But once again, like CGI, won't improve anything, and the story doesn't make any sense. So maybe somebody could tell me how that it sort of fits into the story, like how the new one fits into the story. Um, but yeah, I think that's all I wanted to cover on that. Um, let's see what else was on. What else? Let me see. I covered that. Um, oh yeah, I'm still watching. Kurt J. Max Far Lands or Bust. 'Cause I'm interested to see how far he's getting into it. And it's a good way for me to keep up to date with his videos. And I enjoy listening to him while he's recording them. So yeah, it's always interesting to sit there and watch like your hero, or I guess your inspiration, while he's still making videos and I guess being so dedicated to doing it. If that makes any sense? Um, yeah, because I imagine like for a lot of people it's hard to keep going with like videos if you really don't have like inspiration to keep it going. Um, so it's always fun to watch that. Besides, I think like on a personality level, like I fit somewhere along the lines of Kurt J. Mac. Um, and the fact I guess that we're both probably not very good public speakers, maybe. Like I don't know how it is for him, but I know I was never good at public speaking, and so I don't really do that. That's kind of why the videos sound like they are. Um, to how I don't really sound like I know what I'm doing because I don't, and I'm hoping to get better at that. Um, but yeah, anyways, like from from my perspective, like I have the, I guess, personality, like speaking wise, of like Kurt J. Mac, but like people see me as like another one of my favorite YouTubers. Like a lot of people would see my personality as like vintage beef. Like, yeah, I'm really cool, I'm really collect, but I just, when it comes to like public speaking or like, even when I'm doing this, I'm unsure of myself, but it's kind of like one of those things where I'm calm and cool and collect, but I still feel kind of awkward about doing this. I kind of feel like I'm talking to myself. And, I'm sure when people start watching these, that, maybe it won't feel that way like I'm talking to myself, but being here in front of a mic, talking on, uh, just talking on here, it just kind of feels like I'm talking to myself. So I kind of get that feeling where it's kind of awkward. And let me go ahead and go to sleep here. And I will go ahead and make a bed, of course. I forgot to do that. Yeah. Let me go ahead and make 2 of them. And then I keep forgetting I can't like use the little right click button on here. So like everything has to be done manually by hand. It's always fun. Always fun. So chilling the night in the rat's nest for today, and I'm going to go ahead and end the episode. I will see you guys next time, and boop. Good night.